We love this city. We will fight for this city. We stand for this city. We built this city. We will defend the rights of all in this city. We say unequivocally to those with unmerited privilege who occupy space temporarily in a city built by a black man named Banneker, I say this one final time, keep our name out your mouth and let me drop my mic.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Trash. You don't preach Christ like that. You don't defend the scriptures like that.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
I am sick and tired of these Black Panthers in the pulpit. Yo, do y'all remember this?
It is the tragic nature of the human condition that we always love boxing in God, placing limits upon God with our own finite imagination. According to people who live in limitation, they are comfortable with God being framed in ways that keeps God in the finite hands of those who have limited imagination. And I stopped by here at Chautauqua to simply tell you that God cannot be boxed. As a matter of fact, our language is not enough to even speak about God. Let me put it this way, that I guess the God that we serve is beyond our anthropomorphic framing of God. If all you can do is frame God by a male or male using male pronouns, then you have broken down God to only give God 50% capacity. And that is why it must be understood that our language cannot speak to the totality of who God is. As a matter of fact, I would even make the controversial statement that God has a trans nature. Why would I say that God has a trans nature? Because when you look at the word Elohim, which is plural for the term God, that comes out of the Hebraic term that is a feminine pronoun, it means when you translate it into English, we always use male, but depending upon the situation, sometimes God has a feminine principle and sometimes God has a male principle, but we are always framing God one way, limiting who God can be. So I guess God has a trans nature because God, in the words of our ancestors, is a mother to the motherless and a father to the fatherless, a God who can transport, translate, transition, and transform. I guess God has some trans particular proclivities. But you see, we are so forward, we are always trying to place God within our limited understanding. And in order for us to recognize this, in order for us to break free from this, we must know that many times our possibility in life has been forced to labor under the spirit known as control.
Church creates selective celebration and selective empathy. And then there's
Now, before we keep it moving, we're going to pay attention here. He's coming from Luke 2:7. What does Luke 2:7 say? And laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. This is talking about Christ. All right. This is talking about Christ. All right. This is talking about Christ. All right.
theology that some churches function under. A selective theology. Theology always trying to send somebody to hell. A hell-centric theology.
I don't know where this at.
They love to stand up and tell you who going to hell, and that person going to hell. You look like you going to hell. That clothes gonna send you to hell, and that look is gonna make you go to hell. Who the hell are you to say all of this?
Wait a minute.
What? Ooh-wee. Preacher man, I guess. That type of language in the pulpit, I mean, that's crazy work. And what does this have to do with Luke 2:7?
Glad transatlantic slave trade, because you'd raise the question that we have somebody who looks like us. So Joseph had to take Mary and Jesus back to Africa, and that's what we have to do as a community. We've got to return to Africa. What do you mean return to Africa? Because when we return to Africa, it means that we've got to have a consciousness. If God says Africa's an all right place, then what's wrong with us? We got to stop looking down at our own people, stop looking down at ourselves, and know that you're beautiful the way you are. You don't need any extra help.
And the church is called, especially in these moments, to pray and to fast, that spirits that need exercising in this nation ain't gonna leave overnight. We've got to do some praying and some fasting. And there are some spirits that are possessing things in this nation. America is possessed by a spirit of greed, a spirit of Confederate apologists and antebellum ghosts. The enemy wants you to be disempowered, to feel that you can do nothing in the midst of this. But when God's people pray and fast, then we can boycott and protest. After we boycott and protest, we can worship and praise. And our worship and
Wait a minute.
After we boycott and protest, then we can worship and praise? Where is that written at? Y'all see how everything goes and comes before the scriptures? Dangerous.
praise, then we can vote and organize. And vote and organize, we can then study and meditate. Then we can teach and educate. We become spaces to exercise demons. We become spaces to exercise demons. We become spaces to exercise demons. Spaces to exercise spirits and principalities. The work of the black church has always been the work to exercise spirit. We have to be willing to share the fullness of our struggles and our trauma before our God. Here you have the psalmist saying, God, I got to tell you, every time I see these people getting away with every crime, every time I see these people now elevated to...
What do you mean by that?
Who are these people? He talking about the Caucasian community? So he's a racist too, huh? How do you preach the gospel and you a racist? That's crazy work.
Highest levels in government, and nothing seems to happen to them. My foot is about to slip. But let me give you some news here that when moments like this happen, that one, we must discover what you can control. When I think about what I'm going through, it makes me wanna and throw up. So the psalmist is essentially saying, look at what's happening in my life. This stuff makes me want to holler. But look at what's happening in our nation. It makes me want to holler. Why do they keep getting away with stuff? It makes me want to... By the banks of the Mississippi, we sat down and started to weep as we tried to remember home. On the magnolia trees, we hung our guitars. For our captors asked for songs, our tormentors asked for mirth, saying, sing us one of them happy slave songs.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
That is not what that text said. This man is terrible, bruh.
So 5 days ago, that boy got online, on live stream, in the pulpit, and got his church to get behind him with proclaiming, keep our name out of your mouth. Check it out.
Recently, person who is occupying a temporary space in public housing in Washington, D.C.
And right off the bat, y'all will notice that Reverend Dr. Otis Moss He's very shady. You gonna see it. You gonna see it. It's always these people. Always.
Has been making statements about the city of Chicago to send federal troops and ICE and Homeland Security. I wrote this, and I hope those in DC and other places will hear this, a poem that I wrote for our 5 minutes at this moment, entitled, Keep Our Name Out Your Mouth. Keep our name out your mouth. You do not know the beauty of this city, some call the Shy, the city of big shoulders and broad dreams, the city of rib tips, Italian beef, deep dish, tamales, hot dogs, no ketchup, please. We are the city that is a patchwork of God's creation, formed by the great migration of Mississippi, Memphis, Arkansas, Mexico, Belfast, Warsaw, and Rome. We speak Patois, Creole, Spanish, Igbo, Hindu, and Korean, all with a Southern and Midwest drawl. Don't speak our name if you are blind to the work of DuSable, the words of Gwendolyn, and the brush of Burroughs. Don't speak our name if you don't know we invented gospel. We are the spiritual home of Thomas A. and Mahalia J. Don't speak our name if you don't know Bronzeville birthed Lorraine Hansberry, Marlon Gibbs, and a king named Nat Cole. We are the city of muddy waters and buddies named Guy. Christmas is not Christmas until Donnie sings This Christmas. Don't say our name if you don't know we held Fred Hampton's heart, Harold Washington's soul, gave Common his light, Chance his coloring book, No Name her sundial. We are the spoken word brilliance of Binky to Leslie, literary icons named Upton, Saul, Jane, and Eve Ewing. This is the city that kept hope alive. Run, Jesse, run, and forced a Barack to campaign on hope because a reverend named Wright helped him to see the dreams of his father. Keep our name out your mouth. If you don't know anything about pickles and peppermint, if you've never seen lines and limbs or had mild sauce under your fingertips, if you've never been possessed by beats made in a house by a man named Frankie with knuckles, don't say our name. To quote Sylvia Ewing, Chicago is poets and playwrights and blues. Chicago is the second city of improv with the sonic wonders of Megan McNeil, Liz Wright, and Isaiah Sharkey. Don't say our name if you've never nodded your head to Beats by Bucket Boys, smiled at West Side Footwork, laughed as Unc and Auntie stepped like ain't nobody's business. Don't say our name. You've never seen the beauty of Bronzeville, Love and Roseland, Genius and Garfield, know the history of Pullman, and seen hard work in Chatham. Keep our name out your mouth. If you've never been to the Point or cruised down Lakeshore at dawn and decided to pray because you are thankful you live in a city with such beauty and sublime potential, keep our name out your mouth. We, the people of the Shy, the black, white, Latino, Asian, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Catholic, Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, sanctified, holiness, humanist, agnostic, and Anglican. We, the people of this place called the Shy, from the south to the north, to the east to the west, disagree on many things, but one thing we agree. We love this city. We will fight for this city. We stand for this city. We built this city. We will defend the rights of all in this city. We say unequivocally to those with unmerited privilege who occupy space temporarily in a city built by a black man named Banneker, I say this one final time, keep our name out your mouth and let me drop my mic.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Trash. You don't preach Christ like that. You don't defend the scriptures like that. Trinity United Church of Christ. Are you kidding me? This man is going to send people to hell. And he himself is going to be the ringleader of it. But in any event, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, all right? Peace.